Hey everyone, so it's time to talk about another class in Warlords of Draenor, and this time it's the Rogue. Now, the Rogue is a class that I currently only have a level 88 on live, and honestly, on live, I do enjoy it quite a bit. It's a combat rogue, but today we are going to be talking about the Warlords of Draenor combat rogue. So, the specs change just a little bit, really. It all feels rather similar, if I'm honest, but I've got to say that my impressions are actually really positive. I'm having an absolute blast. I'm really enjoying combat, and I'm also really enjoying assassination, but that will wait until another video. So in terms of your main rotation, it's pretty much just the same. You keep up Revealing Strike, you use Sinister Strike, your main, dump is just Eviscerate to get rid of your combo points. Rupture's actually been removed from this spec. I think they realized that on live, Rupture was only a DPS gain of 2% if you used it properly, so there was no point in it even existing, so Rupture's gone. Crimson Tempest is still there, but no one actually gives a shit about Crimson Tempest. And, just overall, it feels rather similar, you know? And that's, I think, quite a good thing, because I thought that it was a very fun spec. I also do like the way that things work with Slice and Dice, you know, where you actually get that 40% increased attack speed. It just makes it feel good, you know? And Slice and Dice definitely works well in that it gives you something to monitor and ensure uptime of, and then with all your other abilities, you're just kind of slashing things up, and it's pretty good. So in terms of things to talk about, about Warlords other than just the base rotational changes, we've got the new talents. Now then, the new talents are... they're weird. Okay, so first of all, we've got Venom Rush. I'll talk about that. Now this is a passive. It increases your maximum energy by 15, which is pretty insane. Combined with that energy glyph, you can get like 155 energy, which does give you a lot of leeway. And then it also will increase your energy regen rate by 5% for every enemy that you have poisoned, up to 3 enemies. So I suppose if you are fighting more than one enemy, then that's really good for your energy regen. Now, I actually was using it on Assassination a lot because I don't know, it just felt good. But on combat, the main thing that I've been using is Slice and Dice. Not Slice and Dice, Death from Above. Herp. Yeah, Death from Above is insane. It's that ability that makes you jump up in the air, fly down, and rip your enemy to shreds, and it looks very cool. Essentially what it does is a little small AoE, and then you jump up into the air, and then you come down, and I think you do like a full Eviscerate, I believe. And that is quite awesome, and of course, since that says that it does a full Eviscerate, it means this is a finisher. This is a finishing move. Now, it does cost 50 energy, and it's on a 20-second cooldown, so every once in a while, when you have got your 5 energy, you will really want to do Death from Above, so it actually does get rather tricky having to line up getting 50 energy and 5 combo points with whenever Death from Above actually comes off cooldown. Now, my other talent choice is Anticipation in the level 90 tier, and this basically means that you can actually pull up some additional combo points. Basically, if I have 5 combo points and then I do Sinister Strike, it'll give me this thing called Anticipation, a charge of it. So then if I use some combo points, the Anticipation charges are refunded to me as additional combo points. But basically, it just means you can have more combo points, essentially. Now that's really good because it means that if I do have a little bit of downtime, but I do have enough energy or something to be able to squeeze in a Sinister Strike, I can, and then just use Death from Above on cooldown. So that's pretty cool. It's also just worth saying, by the way, my play is really not that great. As I said, I don't have a wealth of experience with combat rogues at all. I've done a good few dungeons now in the beta. I've streamed it once or twice, and it's getting to the stage where I'm definitely having a good time with it. When I'm sitting down on a target dummy, I feel like I can really pull off the rotation quite well, but it's still a little bit of work to do in terms of just doing everything perfectly with bosses. And then one other thing, which I just honestly need to read up, is getting the opener right, because often, I use Killing Spree, and then I end up capping my energy for too long, and just a lot of weirdness like that. But what I can say is that overall, fundamentally, it is a really, really cool spec. Now, the other level 100 talent is, I forget the name, it's that Shadow one. Basically, it summons a copy of yourself, which will spend, I think, 8 seconds looking at what abilities you do, and then in the next 8 seconds, it will do them exactly. That's pretty cool. One thing that it doesn't do, apparently, is it doesn't count any of your poison damage, so that's a little bit of a pity. But yeah, that's what that ability does. Currently, numbers-wise, it is looking like Death from Above is the best one to do. Though, personally, I don't mind using that one that increases my maximum energy because, yeah, I don't know, it just makes it kind of YOLO easy mode. Death from Above itself is a really cool ability, but I've got a feeling that some players are, I don't know, not going to like how it could perhaps be perceived as being a little bit clunky, in that there's so much to line up with you having 5 combo points, that being off cooldown, and then having enough energy to use it, especially on top of doing things like using Eviscerates when it makes sense to, and then also keeping up Slice and Dice. But I suppose that does mean there's a decent bit of thought that goes in. You actually have got things to monitor and stuff to do, which is really cool. Now, just in terms of other rogue stuff, I actually, I really love having things like Shadow Step exist. I love the way that you can just vanish in the middle of combat to use ambush or something. I just think that overall, it's an extremely fun pure DPS class. Oh, and then the other thing that just goes without saying is the ability to cleave like a motherfucker when you are in this spec. So, Fan of Knives is gone. That's one change I actually forgot to tell you. Yeah, Fan of Knives is dead for combat. It is there for assassination, not too sure about sub. But yeah, when you turn on Blade Flurry, that's great, just as always. And of course, Death from Above is really nice with Blade Flurry because, Death from Above starts off with an AoE, ends with an Eviscerate. That's just awesome because the Eviscerate with Blade Flurry will hit everything, and it's just insane. Lots of numbers flying around on the screen. Now, what I did find when I was doing some Proving Grounds, actually, on this character, was that its AoE numbers were... There was just 1 or 2 times in the Proving Ground where I found that I was having no bother just slicing through things on gold, but it was just 1 or 2 AoE packs where I just felt like I wasn't getting enough energy back to finish them, and it's just, weirdness. But that said, not all the classes are balanced and all that stuff. However, it does seem like rogues are performing decently enough, and when I have been on dungeons, I've been happy enough with my DPS. It's been at least on par with other people, and, considering this is one of the first times that I've really seriously played this spec in a endgame context, I'm really happy with that. I'm surprised by how much fun I'm having with it, and I'm definitely considering leveling up, well, my hunter because it's my hunter, but also a rogue when it comes to Mists of Pandaria, or not Mists of Pandaria, Warlords of Draenor. No, we are done with Mists. Yeah, actually, there's so many classes I'm thinking of leveling up and being serious with, because it's funny, I've been trying out a lot more of these classes, like the Whirlwind Monk, the Rogues, the Paladins, a lot of these melee classes, the Warrior as well, and I'm just finding they're a lot of fun. More fun than the ranged classes that I've been playing for all these years, so, damn! Try out melee if you're a pure ranged. You may enjoy just how things feel different. The melee specs do sort of play quite differently to the casters and, all that stuff. And hey, if you're a warlock that's pissed off at the nerf to your movement, then hey, you can go roll a rogue and be happy. But yes, I think that's basically all that I have to say on this. Actually, no, I think Deadly Poison or something like that was removed. Something like that happened. I'm not 100% sure about that. But, there's not really a great deal to talk about in terms of rogue changes in Warlords of Draenor for combat that are actually, massively different. It's just like the removal of Rupture and stuff like that. And Rupture was never a thing you were supposed to use anyway, technically, because, human error means that if something's only going to be a 2% DPS increase, then it's probably not worth doing, because guess what? Chances are you'll bollocks it up somewhere down the line and lose your 2% benefit. Anyway, that's the end of this video. Combat Rogues, stamp of approval, well done, a lot of fun, and GG Blizz, etc. So, if you play a rogue, let me know what you think, especially if you've been playing on the beta. I'd love to hear what more experienced rogues have got to say on the matter. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.